So, what we're doing, percentages. I'm hoping this isn't going to be completely new to you. I think it's something we can probably work quite quickly through. So, things you need to be able to do. Calculate a percentage of an amount. Now that, in more detail, it's a lot of the method in which you do it is also important. Okay. In the same way, calculate a percentage increase and decrease. Well, that's only slightly different, but again, it's the method in which we have to use. So if we're using the wrong method, when we get to this calculate a repeated increase or decrease, you can either have a very quick method, or you can have one that takes a long time. Okay? And then, of course, we need to be able to express one amount as a percentage of another, and that's a real sort of standard exam type question. In fact, all of these are. Percentages are always going to be there. It's a real kind of, you cannot do without knowing how to do all these things. Okay. So out of those things, is there anything you think, yeah, just know how to do it? Increase and decrease. The first three, you know how to do that? First three, yeah. Okay, so, well, you start me off then. So, if I ask you, so we'll do this first one, number one. So if I said, calculate 23% of 490 francs. Let's do that. Let's give it some units. Right, as I said, it's about the method in which you use. So what would you do? How would you go about solving this?
Times it by 0.23.
Okay. So there is 490 times 0.23. Is that what everyone would have done? Yeah? Fine. Okay. So that's an easy then. If I said calculate 1.5% of $700. Alia, what would you do?
700 times 0.0.
Okay, good. Easy enough then. I think time to move on. I don't suppose we need to worry about that. Is there anyone that's thinking, oh no, I don't. No? Skip through then. This is good. So, percentage increase and decrease. So if I said increase 290 by 37%. What would you do? Ella?
Would you times it by 1.37?
290 times 1.37. Yeah. And I said decrease 500 by 96%. 500 times 0.96, you think?
No, times 0.04.
0.04. Explain why?
Because you don't want to find 96%, you want to find what's left after 96 is taken out.
Perfect. That's what I would say. You're actually finding what's left. So here's the deal, just to sort of add that here. When you increase, right, by 37%, what you're actually doing is finding 137%. So that's why you do 1.37. And if you decrease 500 by 96%, you are actually finding what's left, which is finding 4%, which takes you back to what we did in the first step. All right? So increase and decrease. What about then the repeated? So if I ask you for repeated increase, could you put that in context for me? So when would we use a repeated increase?
Compound
Okay, compound. Let's have a look at. Is that what everyone was going to say?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, compound interest. Who would like to explain compound interest? Sorry. Who? Go on then.
So like if you put money in and they say they'll give you back 1.5% every year, and then you have to calculate how much you have at the end of the particular income.
So do you know the difference between compound interest and simple interest?
Compound interest calculates it on the added interest as well,
Yeah.
rather than just the original sum.
Okay, so that's the deal, isn't it? So compound interest, it's a repeated interest rate, and you are charged on the interest as well as the money you borrow. So if it's the borrowing money thing, so that means what they say is at the end of a year, the interest you owe me is now part of your debt. All right, you owe me that. So next year, you owe me interest on that as well. Whereas simple interest is when we just say, well, if you borrowed 500 francs, every year you owe me 5 francs until you give me it back. You know, so it's just a 5 franc charge. So banks won't use simple interest because they make more money through compound interest. So if I said to you, after 9 years at 1.56% per annum interest rates on 12,000 francs. Okay. What is the cost of the loan? So after 9 years, 1.5% per annum, you know what per annum means there, PA, per year, on 12,000 francs of loan, what is the cost of the loan? Now, do you know the difference between cost of the loan and actual amount to repay? What does cost mean?
It would just be the interest.
Yeah, just the interest. Okay, because you don't consider giving the money back as a cost. You borrowed it, you have to give that back. So the cost is the interest. That's how much you have to pay for borrowing that money. So how would we calculate this?
12,000 times 0.56 divided by 9.
12,000 times, sorry what?
0.56?
No.
1.156.
No, sorry. Ricky?
1.0156.
Okay. Don't forget, sort of, it's an increase, it's 100, but this would be fine 101.56%. So be careful. Yeah? What you would have done is found 0.56 every year, which wouldn't be a lot. So we have to do an increase every year, and it's applied 9 years, so we have to do it every year. So to the power of 9. Everyone happy with why it's to the power of 9? I think you've done this before, haven't you? So on your calculators, you can tell me the answer to that, which is
13,793.8.
13,000, sorry?
793.8 Swiss francs.
Remember, we should put 2 decimal places. Okay, so what is the cost?
6,000.
How much?
3,793.8.
1,700.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say 1,793. Right. Okay, so there's the cost. Right. Right. I think you'll pretty much know what you're doing with this stuff then. Let's have a look then at the express an amount as a percentage of another. I think you know this as well. So one amount as a percentage of another. You all do this all the time, actually. I'm sure you've done it lots of times. When do you do it? In school. Pardon?
When you're looking at like a test maybe, you also look at
Yeah, exactly. So if I wanted a test result, right, this is where you do it most often. If you score 56 out of 60, right, what you are doing by doing 56 divided by 60 times 100 is you are expressing 56 as a percentage of 60. 60 itself being 100%. All right. So really, the only thing you've got to do is get the numbers the right way round. Now, it doesn't always need to be that the smaller number is on the top of the fraction, for instance. So, for instance, if I said Tom weighs 78 kilograms, okay. Dave weighs, that's not bad actually, it's lighter than me. Dave weighs, 69 kilograms. If I said express Tom as a percentage of Dave, what would you do?
78 over 69 times 100.
Yeah, 78 over 69 times 100. Okay. But I said different type of question. A shop sells chairs. Shop sells chairs. They buy a chair for $10. They sell a chair for $18. If I said express the profit as a percentage of income. So, what do we do? Yeah, no.
Is it 18 minus 10 over
18 minus 10 over
100%?
times 100. Okay, so the profit, okay, the profit bit is 18 minus 10. It's how much we make. So it's 8. Okay. But if I said express profit as a percentage of cost, yeah,
That'd be 18 minus 10 over 10.
yeah, 18 minus 10 over 10. So it just depends. It's not a difficult situation, but you've just got to get things the right way round. and so on. Okay. Right. Any questions? I think you're, I think you know what you're doing. It's a bit of practice now. Ricky, have you found a page for all this stuff? Your book's open. Have you got a page for percent? No. In your books, can you find a chapter for me on the percentages stuff? Probably. So things you've got to be able to do. Well.
Do you know how to do that?
So we're looking at chapter 10, page 209. So if you guys sort of know what you're doing then, okay, you've got that whole chapter. Say that again, sorry. Well, I'd say that's probably a good idea. We actually didn't look at reverse percentages, but I think you'll be right. Yeah, if you have a go at then, the review sets at the end, alright, just to check that you can do all those. So actually, what page is that? Review set 229.
Yeah.
So if we do the review set page, the green pages on page 229, and then if there's anything in there you don't know how to do, you can go back to the chapter and try and figure out. So one thing we didn't go through is reverse percentages, which is actually quite a big part of it. But if you know how to do what, I'm sure you're okay. We need to talk about it. Alright?
Do we only do 2 to 9 or do we